We'll go straight into action, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, there are various ways that you can contribute to any of the conversations that happen on the show, and essentially you do that strictly via social media. Now, search for Celebrity Fan Zone GH on Facebook, on Instagram, or just tweet at us. Our Twitter handle is @CFZ. We would so love to hear your comments. If you'd like to welcome us back, well, yeah, you're free to do that as well. We'll be reading your comments a little later on in the show. But what we're going to do, though, is we'll go straight into our first story for the evening, and it goes like this. Now, an expert in cases of suicides at the University of Ghana, Dr. Joseph Osafo, says the increased rate at which Ghanaians are taking their lives demands national intervention. With a spate of 14 days, 10 persons, including a 14-year-old girl, have committed suicide across the country under different conditions, a development which raises the concern of how mentally safe Ghanaians are. And he said, it is long overdue. In 2012, we sent a petition to Parliament to consider decriminalizing attempted suicide. We didn't hear what happened to that. We have been trying to do this to disseminate knowledge as well, so that people are empowered on what to do and what to look out for. End of quote. Now, over 100 people called the hotline of the Mental Health Authority for suicide-related help within 3 days, the authority has revealed. The helpline, 020-681-4666, has seen a sudden spike in calls received. Many have attributed various reasons for the upsurge in suicide cases, with the absence of counseling services being prominent. Yes, and I'm sure if any of you have visited social media this week, you'd realize that some of the biggest, one of the major things people have been talking about is this suicide issue and the fact that it's in the limelight. What I was trying to find out on my own was whether it's only becoming more prominent because the media has chosen to focus, a little more attention on it, or if it was something that was going on all this while that everybody was sort of turning a blind eye to. I don't know what you ladies think.
I think it's something that does go on, and people have been turning a blind eye, and I'm happy now the media has shed some light on it, and there's now helplines. Things are now being done. I always thought to myself that perhaps they should be counselors or psychiatrists in schools, universities. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do they have them?
Yes, in University of Ghana. Yeah,
in some
high schools.
Yes, some high schools.
Because
as well.
Majority of the people that have been committing suicide have been the young people, and suicide is the second biggest killer of people aged between 15 and 29, the second biggest killer. And World Health Organization says 800,000 people commit suicide each year. 800,000. Now, there's so many reasons why people are doing it. With teenagers, it's perhaps maybe somebody's gay and they're having problems struggling to come out, they're depressed. I think one of the girls that killed themselves was she failed an exam paper, a whole load of things. And I think it boils down to not having someone to talk to.
That is true.
If there is someone to talk to that you can trust, that you can rely on, that you know that they're not going to judge you, they're not going to make you feel, well, you are a failure, or you are this. I think that would be a step in the right direction. So having the helpline here is very good. The helpline can also benefit parents who may feel that, my child is all of a sudden becoming a bit moody, my son is withdrawn, my daughter is now, grumpy, she doesn't talk to me. I think it's a good way, and I just hope that the people on the other side are qualified counselors, and they're not going to be so rigid and judgmental and that kind of thing, because it's getting really, really scary.
Yes, it is.
Because some of the people, friends and family have said, oh, they didn't notice they were depressed, they didn't notice anything. So I don't know.
I agree, first of all, that I suspect you're right that these cases actually have been happening. It's just the media has decided to throw a limelight. And yes, with psychologists and crisis counselors, Charlie, they have to know their stuff. And I always advocate, please separate the religious counseling from counseling, psychology counseling. I feel like sometimes religious counselors worsen the situation. How do you talk to someone who has wanted or attempted to commit suicide? You even have to, it's just listening sometimes, not appearing to give them advice on how to make life better. Just listening, not making them feel, like you said, like they're failures, that, oh, how stupid could you be, or you act shocked. People are depressed, and the thing in Ghana is depression is not even a thing to talk about. It's not a sickness. It's not something. It's depression. What do you mean? You're depressed. Yeah. I'm depressed. I have anxiety. You know, what does it even mean? You know, but it actually is a thing. It actually is a mental problem. It's actually a mental health issue to be depressed or to have anxiety, and we have it all the time. Me, you, all of us. We just haven't probably been pushed to that limit, but all of us have it. So we have to start to define depression and recognize depression and anxiety as what it is, that this is also something you should probably go to see someone for. And then remove the religious from the counseling. Just have someone who is trained for crisis counseling, you know?
I totally agree. I think
helpful.
Mental health in this country definitely needs a lot more, way more attention than it's been given in the past. I mean, I've had instances where, like, you hear friends saying, oh, you know, this friend of mine, I saw them maybe on their way into the psychiatric hospital, for instance. Hey, they're going mad, and all of a sudden there are jokes about it. And one thing broke my heart when I was going through, you know, my timeline on social media, and I saw people actually making jokes, like suicide jokes.
Yes.
Some guy there was one particular one that I think a lot of people like sort of bashed them for, right? Some guy, it looked as if his friend was begging him not to jump, and then the next picture showed him on the ground, and like they were just laughing about it.
Funny.
You know, there was nothing funny about it. Like suicide is such a major issue, and it can happen to anyone because there's a thin line between, truthfully, sanity and insanity.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's about time we focus a lot more attention.
Big time.
What also bothers me is the fact that suicide in Ghana is a criminal act.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
it just doesn't
so if you don't die, if you don't die, you're going, like, you could get arrested. You could go to jail.
And, you know, it's interesting what you said about your friends going to a psychiatrist or the hospital. Going to a psychiatrist doesn't mean you're mad.
No.
Thank you.
It doesn't mean.
But in Ghana,
it means that you probably have some anger that you want to vent out. And like I said, you just want to talk stress, anxiety. You just want to talk to somebody. You just want some advice before you go down the lane, which is more dangerous, either killing yourself or even committing murder or a crime. So I think that's really interesting.
And I think we've also gotten to a point where we're very insensitive. Like, for instance, you post something on social media. It's your opinion, and you have random people, trolls, just going at you, going hard. Forgetting that you're human, forgetting that you have feelings too. You know, and we take a lot of things for granted, like, and especially people in the limelight, like you, all of us here, and everybody else who's in the limelight. Like, it's so hard to just state your opinion and sort of go scot-free because someone out there thinks, well, because you're there and you think you're a celebrity, I can say whatever I want to you. Forgetting that one word, it just takes one word that will push someone off the edge. You know, we need to be a little more sensitive, tolerant, you know, with each other. And I think if we start to look at things that way, we'll make a lot more progress in that regard.
A friend of mine, her mum passed away, and then a few months later, her brother committed suicide. And people were saying, oh, it was because a girl dumped him or a girl broke his heart and all kind of things. You don't know the full story. And there's relatives out there, there's friends there, and people are, like you said, on social media saying all sorts of things on there. Do you not care how the person feels? Do you not care? And for her to walk in and see her brother hanging from the fan, it's not a joking matter. And for her to move on, her mum died, then her brother committed suicide. People need to rise up and take this thing seriously.
And you know how when, like the way you said, because his girlfriend dumped him, they make it look like a silly reason.
They're idiots.
No, we're talking serious stress and depression here. You know what I'm saying? It's that, maybe that triggered it, but it's a whole lot of things that's broken the person. The person doesn't want to die. The person wants to end the pain. You know what it is? That's what it is. The person wants to end the pain.
He was very young, like 19, 20.
Anyways,
Well, I
there's
mean,
a hotline now.
There's
Yes,
a hotline now,
there's
indeed.
a hotline.
And before we go for a commercial break, let me just quickly mention the hotline again. I think it's critical. It should be promoted by the media for free as often as possible. And it is 020-681-4666. That's 020-681-4666. That is the hotline for the Mental Health Authority. If you do have any problems, you're contemplating suicide, that is the number to call. We'll go for a quick commercial break. This is the Celebrity Fan Zone. We'll be right back.